Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Uploaded. I'm Chris, and today I've got an uninterruptible power supply. All right, real talk. I realize watching me unbox this thing is about as exciting as watching paint dry or grass grow. So what I'm gonna do is quickly go over what's in this box, why I bought it, what you get, and some of the features. Then we're gonna put this to the test. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install the software that comes with it, put it on my computer, and then cut the power once it's fully charged and see if the computer shuts down in time. All right, so this is the CyberPower adaptive sine wave. What is this? The CP1000. So what does that mean? I guess it's 600 watts. That's what that means. So it's a 600 watt uninterruptible power supply. And sine wave means that this is actually compatible with modern day computer power supplies. So what that means is instead of the wave for the power current being like this, which is how a lot of the older and still some uninterruptible power supplies are, it's a nice, clean wave. Now, why is that important? Well, modern day power supplies, they can't see it if it's not a clean wave. They don't recognize that as power. So if you lose power and this thing kicks in and you don't have sine wave, a lot of times the computer just shuts off, like it lost power anyway. So these types of power supplies are designed to be used with computers, so they give the computer enough time to shut down. Now the good thing about this is I'm not seeing immediately up front this thing making any kind of outrageous claims about what kind of time you're going to actually get out of this if you have to shut down. I've seen some do that. So since there's nothing on the outside of the box making claims, let's get into it. I think it was a little harder to get into than I expected. All right, so what do you get in here? Looks like just a big brick. All right, come on. Muscles, Chris, muscles. What? Making a mess. There's just styrofoam. It's going all over the place. So you got the user's guide for both the 850 and the 1000, which is a little misleading because the 1000 is 600 watts. Math. Okay, so it's pretty small. This thing's not going to be getting in the way of anything, which is nice. Nice clean look. It's got the readout on the front. And then here's what's important along the back. You do have the option to run coax cable through this, so for your cable modem, if you're a cable modem user. And then you've got your networks in and out. The USB to hook up to your computer, so if you need to, or want to, or need to, use the software, that's how it's going to communicate with this thing. It's got a serial connection on it. You don't see that a lot nowadays. And then finally, here's all your surge protection. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are surge protected. And then you've got an additional 5 that have the battery and surge protection on them. So you've got 10 total, half of which will give you backup power, half of which are just going to shut off if you lose power, but they will protect you in the case of a surge. Finally, you've got the circuit breaker push to reset button right on the back. All right, so there you go, quick and painless unboxing. So now what I need to do is set this thing up, get the battery charging, install the software, and then see just how long this thing can really go on my 4770K build if the power goes out and lights go dark. All right, so I've got the UPS plugged in, and actually it's really nice. I was able to grab one of these, 2 of these pretty useless surge protectors, and toss those to the side and plug in all 10 items I had down there. It just happened to work out all into the UPS. And how I did that was I invested in, where did I put it? Here we go. A bunch of these. I think I got a 6-pack, or it might have been an 8-pack. They might have called it the octopus or something crafty, but it's just these little pigtails, and you can use these for those really obnoxious things you have that take up like 3 or 4 spots because the power brick's like on the plug. Get some of these, boom, problem solved. All right, so let's take a quick look at the software and kind of go through what you get with that, and then we'll get on to the experiment. The software that comes with the CyberPower is the Power Panel Personal Edition. So this actually just runs in the background and kind of keeps tabs on everything, but when you pull it up, you get this nice little summary up here. So it shows you that you're on AC utility power, the battery is charging back up because I ran a self-test on it, and you've got 9 minutes of runtime if something goes down. So you can click on current status, and this will actually show you a lot more. So again, shows you everything it shows you up top, lets you know everything's normal. We're getting 119 on 120 volt plug, and pulling about 198 watts, which is a little bit more than idle. I usually idle around 140 or so, but I am doing screen capture, so that's why it's pumped up a little bit. And then summary just kind of tells you what's been going on, but since there's nothing to report, nothing to look at there, and then of course you can configure UPS. So you have to click yes, make changes. So I've got the admin rights now. And you can look at your schedule. So what you can do here is you can actually schedule when you want your computer to turn on and turn off automatically if you want your CyberPower to handle that for you. And then notifications. Do you want this thing to tell you stuff or not? Self-explanatory. Now, runtime. This is important. So you have two options. You can either do preserve battery power, which is the default. And what this will do is shut the computer down if it's running on battery power for 5 minutes. Just shuts it down. Keep computer running is what we're going to use for the test. And this will run the computer until there's 5 minutes remaining on the battery. So it's just going to run until it gets to the point where it's afraid it might not be able to shut down in time, which it's going to set at 5 minutes. I would set this longer if I could, but I can't. So we'll let it run as long as it can. And then voltage. Here you can set your thresholds on your voltage. So if it drops to below a certain level or above a certain level, this is where you set where you want that to be. Sensitivity, how sensitive you want this thing to be to fluctuations. And then, of course, the self-test, which was just run today, so everything's good there. And then help if you have any questions. So that's it. It's really straightforward software. It's really helpful. You can keep tabs on things in here, and it's actually kind of nice because you can see what your load is on your system. And of course, this only goes up to 600 watts, it looks like. So if you have a really beefy gaming machine, you're going to need to get a bigger power supply. They make units up to, I think, 1200 watts. So you can really step up a lot if you need to. But for my needs, this is just fine. So let's see how this thing actually performs. So I've let the battery charge back up to 100%, and it looks like the computer is pulling, it says it's pulling 144 watts right now. So the question is, it says 17 minutes left until this thing would go kaput if you unplugged it or if you lost power. So the question is, how long really is it going to go? Now, I don't have real high hopes because of how quickly it drained just on the test, the self-test. So this is going to be interesting. What I'm going to do is I've got my iPhone, and I'm going to start the stopwatch. I'm going to pull the power from the wall and just watch this thing. Now, because I have it plugged in, and it's kind of rigged actually, I didn't have a long enough cable. The USB cable is a little bit short, so I'll show that where I've got it right now. I'm going to have to get an extension cable to actually keep using the software. But I've got it rigged so I can test that software right now. I want to see, A, if it's going to shut down the computer in time, get it in the shutdown routine before it runs out of power. And then B, is it going to do it at all? Is it going to send the command to shut down? So this will be interesting to see. I have it set to run as long as possible, so it's set to shut down when the battery senses there is less than 5 minutes left. So let the games begin. All right, got the stopwatch queued up. I'm going in. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are on battery power, and we're beeping. All right, it says in the bottom corner that we're no longer receiving AC utility power. Oh no! All right, guys, we're at a minute 30. We're still going. Still says 77. It says time to shut down, 8 minutes. 3-minute mark. I have to say, this thing is totally proving me wrong. I really did not anticipate this going even a couple of minutes before it reached its shutdown, because I've used some of these at work, and 30 seconds a minute, and you're kaput. 4 minutes, and it looks like we are at 59% with 4 minutes to shut down. Now, keep in mind, I'm not doing anything on the computer at the moment, so this is assuming I was just browsing the web, maybe writing something in Word or WordPad, because I actually don't own Word, believe it or not. And just chilling, just taking it easy. If I was gaming and this happened, the first thing I'd want to do is save and close the game and get out of there. And if I'm editing, I'm obviously saving the project immediately and closing. Now, in actuality, if I was in this situation and I lost power and the computer's on, I'm not going to sit here and wait and see how long this thing's going to take to shut down. I'm going to shut down manually. 8 minutes. This is not the most exciting thing I've done. And this beeping is getting really annoying. This thing is super generous on its estimates. Now at 10 minutes and 40 seconds, computer's still up. 10-minute runtime. I will say one of the things that I can attribute, though, to this staying on as long as it has is the fact that this Asus monitor, even though it is 27 inches, is an LED backlit screen. All right, there's the warning. It's shutdown time. All right, here you go. According to your settings, your computer will enter hibernate in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And at 11 minutes and 30 seconds, The computer is still on? Off. So there you go. 11 minutes, 45 seconds. Boom. That was a pretty good runtime, I have to say. Tickle me impressed. This did way better than a lot of the other UPSs I've seen actually in the real world, and they have bigger batteries. Batteries do degrade over time, and I think that's the Achilles heel of any of these systems, and that is the problem with a lot of them that I think I've seen, is you run into the problem the battery just simply ages, and then by the time you actually need to use it, you don't have any battery left. So that's definitely one thing that this has going for it. This is its first charge and discharge, so that's good. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this. 11 minutes and 45 seconds for me to shut everything down. And if I wouldn't have been here, the computer did indeed shut itself down like it was supposed to, with about 30% left in the battery. So yeah, 600 watt battery. Really, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. This thing's counting down to something now. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it's probably shutting this stuff off. So I'm going to try to catch it before it does that. Thanks for watching, and as always, if this video is helpful, please do subscribe, and be sure to check back soon. I gotta plug stuff in.